Good morning, good people of the Southern Cameroons, citizens of Ambazonia. Welcome to my daily podcast. Happy New Month. Today na number 1 day for the month of September 2021. My name na Capo Daniel, Sense Pass King, Lukong, wona own countryman. The sound we play for back na a poem played by Seseko Ebini, one of the strong Ambazonian elites them, wey La Republique idam fail for drive them for this struggle. As una know, my country people, Cameroon government, they try for make this struggle maybe nya for use their nasty propagandists wey they cover up for genocide, conduct titles, for inject spoilers, agents provocateurs, for bring dirty caution, make it not be possible for our regular folks to join this struggle. We want to thank and honor people like Seseko Ebine, Dr. Carson Anyangwe, and many other patriots who, despite their status, have humbled themselves and continue to serve their people under such harsh condition. But this is the only way to go. Sometimes you need to walk through mud, for come up for the other side, for take savon, for wash your skin. Ladies and gentlemen, today this special edition for this podcast will be titled A Response to Dr. Ebenezar Akwanga. Ebenezar Akwanga will be popularly known as Petit Papa. Idam released out a viral audio in which he seek for sabotage the alliance between the Ambazonian people and the Biafran people being led by the leader of the IPOD and the leader of the Ambazonian Governing Council. While Dr. Ebenezar Akwanga is seek for sabotage this alliance, will now increasingly come under attack from the Cameroon government and the Nigerian government by hiding behind fake accusations. I think it is important to give an intellectual response to those accusations he has made. One thing where I want to draw on for the attention for our people them, especially those who they listen for me, now the 5% for the most educated, most intellectual and most smartest Ambazonians, they listen for Capo Daniel. If you are not in that crowd, you better join that crowd. These are the most influential people, and I want to thank you guys for your loyalty. Every time we an individual turn for start for apply the logic of the enemy, when I know say we don't lost that person. If for Ebenezar Akwanga, he attempt for blackmail Ayabacho and for tarnish the reputation of the Ambazonia Governing Council and attacking the alliance with the Biafran people them. These are the first thing you need to know. The alliance between Ambazonia and Biafra, it don't put our people in the course of an irreversible trend of nationalism and a change in demography. As both people come together and change their perspective on how they see themselves, which also will affect how they see each other, it has put this course on an irreversible trend for Ambazonian freedom and Biafra freedom. This is something the Nigerian government do not want. It is something that the Cameroon government do not want. They are doing everything to fight it, including their enablers and those who want to cover up for them. The use of the logic of the enemy, usually it benefit the enemy because the enemy, they always support them. One of the things for this struggle, I say, the enemy, they support all sides, for attack all sides, with the hope for bring down all sides. So the same people where they go can coach Ayuktabi, now the same people where they go can coach Ayabacho, and they go sometime on patriotic individual them, they go join La Republique. Like we see how we some supporter them for Sako, they don't be na the main sharer for sabotage, blackmail, material them for Cameroon propagandists, conduct titles. But before you get lost into my explanation, wait to be the logic of the enemy here. When I remember in the beginning of this struggle, Atta Milan, where be been at the secretariat, and most of the fellows them for South Africa, where they be the back Ayok Tabi and Skakuv as a means for inject themselves into this struggle, their main objection for the strategy for self-defense, it be been as say if the ADF continue with their plan where they be the plan for ground, the build camps them, they recruit soldier them for attack La Republique du Cameroon, they go be responsible for the Cameroonian government, their reaction. Even though the actions for the ADF it will be based on their calculation, for Cameroon, their action way it will happen, way for them it will be predictable. Say they go arrest Agbobala and Cameroon it go launch war against Ambazonia. So they be there already, they prepare for war. The first time we then launch a bomb attack for inside Bamenda, many of the so-called Ambazonian liberators today, they be call them saying a terrorist attack. Today the same people that they try for buy bomb for attack the same Cameroon. That way the ADF will be attack La Republique, capture and kill a top SDO for Batibo, the same people they be condemn them. The attack where it be led by General Ivor, where it be kill 5 Cameroon gendarmes by the ADF. Even at that time, the Skakuf be condemn them and write later for apologize for Mr. Pobia. The logic where they be the use them, it be been at the logic for the enemy, where he talk say, me blame the victim for reacting for brutality and illegality of the perpetrator of violence, colonialism, for put them for a very simple way. It dey like woman where did the rapey. You dey blame the woman, say me no knock the bully, me no beat a rapist, make it no shout, because say the more the woman fight back, now the more way they go rapey, the more, and then the more they go beat even more. But for the war for liberation, we need to get the higher moral ground for maintain our dignity as a people. We need to fight back irrespective of the consequences. Not only by fighting back, where ultimately you go stop a raper, you go expose a bully, and you go free yourself from their grip and the power where they get them over you. That one, now the logic of the victor and those who did ever fight against imperialism and colonialism. This one it be true because the same Milton Taka, where he be there for inside the governing council, he too he be go fight for inside La Republique, the embassy, for destroy things them, chakara things them for day. At that time, he no be the think about the consequences because he be the fight for a greater good. Now the logic that way is supposed to apply, no be the logic of the enemy, where if you say he go use weapons, he go use killing, use terrorism tactics them for make a me and Bazuna them stop for fight. We don't see how La Republique he enter for inside Bui, he kills 7 civilians them in reaction for an attack on their military by Ambazonian fighters. We don't see also for inside Bali, where the ADF unit attack La Republique, their convoy, for Naka, as they come up Bamenda for enter Bali. For night, it won't be for morning time, the same La Republique unit, then go attack church for key people them. You know if you blame their reaction on the ADF attack against their force. La Republique du Cameroon be ultimately responsible for their activities, and their criminal and killing of civilians as a reprisal is a war crime, and there is no justification for those crimes. Even if they were attacked previously, they can only fight back against Amazonian forces. And for those where they use that logic for the enemy, for try to blame the victim, their actions, they are wrong, and they are not honorable to do that. We hope you understand. So for Ebenezar Akwanga and those who they want try for drum up fear inside our refugee, they had some of them even pay refugee, they made them begin make fake complaints them. For talk say the alliance we would not make with Biafra, it will affect our refugee them negatively. Now people the way they use the logic of the enemy. The same Akwanga, for the use that logic, because when he be launched Sokadef, why he no be fee say when the Sokadef he go attack La Republique go come back and keep people them? Why he no be apply for that theory and that logic he no be apply for Sokadef? Why he no be apply for anybody where they for first self-defense? Why he go apply not only for the AIG of C where they don't get alliance with the Biafran people? Our people, they need to understand the hypocrisy and the corny behind these people, their criticism. It not be driven by facts, it be driven by their own political agenda for get their concession for negotiation when I way they fight for. They need to fight for lead, they fight now for negotiate. There must be a level of risk taking. There must be a level of price if you want freedom. And any leadership we go liberate we, it go lead we into those conditions them. Of course, our alliance with Biafran, it done shaken La Republique du Cameroon. Now a daring move na a very provocative move against the enemy, because they know the potential and they know which way it will happen for the mind of our people and which way it will happen on the ground. Now why that way they attack them, now why that way they don't go get conference for fight them, now because now an offensive move. There is no way we can please our oppressors. It will never work. It has never worked in the past. When I remember, I said the same people where they be the vex. So why ADF will put a face for ground zero by publicly naming General Mba Ivo and put a face for outside like the face for their forces them. Today now they show video for forces them where they need to cover their face. So all their criticism, the hypocrisy being driven by greed and political power for personal benefit. So maybe we go back for Ebenezar Akwanga, Dr. Ebenezar Akwanga, for hear exactly which way he did talk.
Something that has to do between you and me that never took place. First, let me make the record straight. You had no role, I repeat, you, Comrade Cho, had no role on the issue of my resettlement in the United States of America. When I came out of prison, when I escaped from jail, the 9th of July, 2003, you visited me in Nigeria, and I will always be grateful for that. You came, you stayed with me. All the times you came to Nigeria, you came to Nigeria because I was in Nigeria.
So now the allegation that way Ebenezar Akwanga hide behind for try to sabotage the alliance between Biafra and Amazonia. But make a play on our way to where Ayabacho actually talk, so that we're gonna get the complete information before a no Connie analysis is done.
Exploiting their vulnerability for political profiling. I know you have argued that the alliance, exacerbates or is the source of the peril that our refugees face. The facts speak differently. A few months ago, and I think I still have the audio, I addressed an audio to the governor and appealing to him after they had held a public meeting asking the refugees to move back because the situation back at home was okay. Through networks, I addressed an audio to him, appealing to him to understand that this has been a 60-year-old issue. It's not going away until our independence. I'm not sure if that made an impact. Maybe it did. But we have continuously argued for the plight of our refugees and for possibilities for them to live in situations of dignity. And we will push ahead with our agenda of resettlement because we've done it before. As I explained, that's what we did with Dr. Akwanga and more than 30 others. As I also said the other day, 2020 alone, the UNHCR resettled more than 6,000 DRC citizens. It resettled more than 1,500.
So, now Ayabacho, he talked that way, ma play that precise place, me gonna hear again.
That's what we did with Dr. Akwanga and more than 30 others.
So, Ayabacho say that is what we did with Akwanga and more than 30 others. Which way Ayabacho he talk now the process for apply for refugee for resettlement, because when the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugee UNHCR he accept an asylum seeker a claim, it grants that person a refugee status. With that refugee status, you feel now apply for resettlement out of the place where you did it, if to say that place they not get a resettlement plan or it be hostile to you. So Ayabacho he no talk na say na ye and the governing council they be apply make Akwanga and the other people then go for America. He simply talk say na a process where they be done do for Akwanga and those 30 something people them where they want do now for the remaining refugee. And that was true. It is not lie. He did not made it up. There are video of Dr. Ebenezar Akwanga where he be in our keeping, where Ayabacho he be record them, he be carry that video, he go for European Union for Europe, and he meet up European official them, the Dutch officials them, they make a campaign, say me them resettle them for Europe. They be accept in principle, but they be get the conflict, say the number of people they be plenty. Eventually, Ebenezar Akwanga, because he be give family for America, they apply, meet them family, then take it, they support the application for resettlement, now say them come out for Nigeria, go for America. Ayabacho he further explained say this process na a normal process for the UN. ACR even appeal say Ambazonia the way they dey for abroad, me they open their door them for help the governing council of Ambazonia for do the process for apply make asylum seeker them or refugee status holder them for Nigeria. Me them follow the process, me them try whether they move them for Nigeria. So Dr. Ebenezar Akwanga na fine palava, na fault finder. That means say they look for person in speech for the place where if he make error or where if he see something where if he twist them for take him for do sabotage because he aim for that issue no be about which Ayabacho talk him now because he want attack the alliance as we be done here Ayabacho talk as Nigeria push Sako make conference me them push them. This is very evidence if you talk even for the publicators them for the story for the press conference of Sako, they will tell you exactly say na Nigeria be behind which way then do. Dr. Ebenezar Akwanga na a wicked man. Ayabacho fly from Europe for come meet up you. Anyway, you talk say you be very grateful. Why you know also talk say Ayabacho even allow a woman where you be done die, make it carry you, make it host you, carry you where they done broke you out of prison, transport you from ground 0 to ground 1. Ayabacho move money for his skin, facilitate the network where you want destroy them today where help for moving for prison. All those files and be available for intelligence office for the governing council. Ebenezar Akwanga, why are you so wicked? The central issue now the Ambazonia Governing Council program for resettlement of refugees away from Nigeria as the best solution. Ultimately, the protection of our refugee them, all them be registered, them be encouraged for registered, them be under international protection. The Nigerian government, if you attack them, even the state for Cross River, if you force them, then go back against their will. If they try for ask you, you go back, deny, contact the governing council for try me them move you for Nigeria, send you for white man country for place where they go respect your human right. It be possible. We don't see them for plenty other country them. Make we not allow distractors, adjunct provocateurs, and people the way they don't get understanding with a core, sit with La Republique, minister them for inside hotel them, me them be king can talk for we. If Ebenezar Akwanga, na leader me talk with the way they lead them. The last time we check him, he be done declare ceasefire with La Republique. He be done also announce and say one stop goes down. To promise Ambazonia, they say either one go negotiate for Switzerland. It don't make more than 1 year. Why that negotiation never go? Now because people the way they not be consequential enough, no be then supposed to lead any negotiation. And me then never mean negotiation it come, no be because of politics, make it come now for way if he give you independence. So to get the record straight without Connie, Dr. Cho Ayaba talked now about the process for help Ayaba Akwanga and the refugee the way they be there for Nigeria, for ground for Biafra, for me then resettle. That process it be done, it will be successful, it not be exploited by Akwanga, but it will be accepted in principle, even though the number of people where they for be resettled, it will be still an issue for be resolved. Right now, una listen for the program for the Ambazonia Governing Council for our refugees and asylum seekers in Nigeria.
2020 alone, the UNHCR resettled more than 6,000 DRC citizens. It resettled more than 1,500 Eritreans. We resettled thousands of Somalians. And we have all watched, Syrians in their hundreds of thousands being moved from areas of insecurity, continuous fighting, to areas of safety where they can then be integrated. So I hope that our refugees should understand that these things will be done for them.
So that is what will be done. The governing council is already engaged with our law firms and our international partners to make sure we can help our people to be resettled where they would be able to exercise their complete human right. Those who they talk say may will not take anything because some things then be consequential. We're gonna know say tomorrow they will use the same logic for self-defense and for our fight for liberation as a whole. We need to fight with the mindset of victors and victory, and we need to adopt a revolutionary and liberation strategy for no say even refugee themselves they feel liberate the country. God bless you now. Capo Daniel signing off. remember to do your patriotic duty to support the resistance financially, morally, spiritually. God bless you. The struggle continues.